Hello and welcome back to Warcraft Daily for today, the 14th of February 2014. So in today's news we have one thing, and after that I'll just do a few questions from the subreddit. So first of all, the news. Well, challenge modes are actually going to be closing soon-ish, and not really closing. Basically, they work in a season system, and the Mists of Pandaria season is going to close. Any of the old achievements are going to be converted into feats of strength. Now this is just a forewarning. With Season 15 happening, it's more than likely that it will be about 20 weeks until the Warlords of Draenor systems patch. Now, the reason why they're resetting the seasons for challenge modes is because when the Warlord system patch comes out, it's going to change some of the classes, and therefore it won't exactly be balanced with how difficult classes were and things like that during Mists of Pandaria. So just to keep everyone on a level footing, they're going to start a new season of challenge mode leaderboards and all that stuff for Warlords of Draenor, which honestly makes perfect sense. Now, I know there's some people that, and honestly I was nearly thinking this myself, that because they saw this announcement from Blizzard that it meant, oh wow, the Warlords of Draenor systems patch must be really close. Well, there's a minimum of 20 weeks because of PvP Season 15. A PvP season, according to Helinka a while ago, is going to be having a minimum of a 20-week long period, so that's probably what Season 15 is going to be, and I'd say that on maybe the end of week 20 or a week after that, that's when we get the Warlords of Draenor systems patch. So that's how I think it's going to play out. I think that's all good, and honestly, the sooner Warlords it comes, the better. So with the news part done, let's just move on to some of the Q&A things. Apologies if this episode doesn't end up being as long as normal. I'm kind of traveling on a train today, so I don't really have the greatest deal of time for uploading things. Anyway, so question number 1 is from Drumkid, and he said, I'd like your opinion on my Twisting Nether theory, which is that the Twisting Nether, since it doesn't have a defined space and insists on being very confusing, could it be possible that it is the space between dimensions and thus timelines, making it the perfect possibility to fight the Legion from Warlords because it would be the same Legion? Part of the reason I wonder this is about Prince Melankar, or Malkathar, whatever he was called, the dude at the top of Karazhan, having access to all the area we fought him in, and it seemed very Twisting Nether-esque. Okay, so essentially, I actually personally think that you are right. The Twisting Nether is just this weird, nebulous thing. Basically, we have two different kinds of space in Warcraft. We have the Great Dark, which is essentially our conventional view of space, and then we have the Twisting Nether, which is, well, it's very much its own thing, isn't it? And, yeah, I've seen a lot of theories as well as yours, and a lot of them do say that the Twisting Nether is essentially one of those sort of weird things that nearly links all points in space and time, and it's just sort of heavily interwoven into everything. So because of that, I think it would actually be fantastic if the Legion were involved in Warlords of Draenor, and the Twisting Nether is certainly the perfect vector to introduce them with. It would make great sense, and also, if there was some way to have our own Burning Legion somehow, like, sort of operating within the Warlords expansion from behind the scenes, then maybe they're revealed and they end up being the final boss. I just think that would be a very, very good plot arc. Now, of course, could there be two Burning Legions? Because, well, here's the problem. So, if we take Archimonde, Kil'jaeden, and Velen, the three leaders of the Eredar back in the day, well, all three of them were on Argus, right? Now, Argus isn't a part of the Twisting Nether, meaning that every different timeline will have its own Argus. So that definitely throws up one or two strange things. Perhaps also Sagaris. Well, from what we understand, the Titans don't travel in the Twisting Nether. The Titans just travel through the Great Dark. So are there multiple sets of Titans and Burning Legions because of this? Since there would be multiple Sagarises. It's very strange, and when we go into multiple different dimensions and timelines and things like that, the lines between what is possible and not get very blurred. Personally, though, from a storytelling perspective, I love the idea of there being one Burning Legion that can basically get us nearly anywhere. And I think that actually could be a really fantastic plot arc. I think it could be really fun, and it would be a fantastic break from Orcs if maybe in the second or final patch of Warlords, we fight the Burning Legion. Perhaps Illyria and Terulion return and they have some sort of cool story with that. So, that's that question. The next one is from Scovey, who says, do you think Blizzard will ever introduce anything like a Anchorage 40 gate opening event, even in Warlords of Draenor? It seems so epic, and I missed out on it. Well, I missed out on it too, and I can agree, it sounded very epic. I'd love it if they would do a large event again. Honestly, a shitty scenario simply will not cut it. I was very disappointed with the Fall of Theramore and the Elemental Invasion. I just don't think they were that good. Personally, the one that I've had the most experience with was the Wrath of the Lich King one, which is the zombie invasion, and I think that was fantastically fun. Okay, there's maybe 1 or 2 times where it was annoying for gameplay when you just got turned into a zombie, but I think if you're just to embrace it and roll with it, it was fantastic fun. So do I think they will introduce anything like that? I'm kind of worried that they won't, but I think there's definitely a possibility that the initial sort of foray into Draenor, or perhaps, I don't know, whatever this opening event is for the expansion, that it could involve some really large-scale stuff. Honestly, I'd love maybe an invasion through the Burning Portal. The Burning Portal is not a thing. The Dark Portal, or something like that. I don't know. I just think it could be very cool, and if they lock it into just being some random-ass scenario, I will be rather disappointed, so yeah, hopefully they do something really cool. As for the Ahn'Qiraj 40 gate opening event, I wonder if you're able to experience that again on a private server. I doubt you are because of the heavy amount of server-side work and scripting, which would mean that the private server people would essentially have to remake all of that themselves. And, oh, disclaimer, I do not condone playing on a private server, etc, etc, etc. But it certainly is an event that it would be nice to see that happen again, especially with newer server tech, which means that the server would not die, because there were severe lag issues back in the day. Still, though, a very cool event, and something that's very, I don't know, just sort of iconic in Warcraft history. Anyway, so the next question is from Zanzus, who says, will you ever do a video with another YouTuber, like Kill vs Babyface or DD Guides? Well, would. Yeah, I'd love to at some point. It's just the kind of thing where everyone's busy doing their own thing, and, well, simply all of us are busy. Also with me, maybe or maybe not moving network and some things like that. I don't know, I'll probably have to get that all sorted out first. But yeah, in general, I'm open to that sort of thing. Promotion's good for everyone, networking's good for everyone, and it can be fun for viewers to watch that kind of thing, so it's really a win-win. Anyway, the final question is from Drum8Kid, who says, what does he say? Yeah, I can't even read. So one of the devs said that the 3 hunter specs feel too similar. What do you think the problem is, and do you think there is a decent chance of getting a melee spec back for hunters to help with the problem? We can still technically use melee weapons after all, and they showed a melee hunter in the Warlords of Draenor opening trailer. And personally, the 2 things that he likes about melee and pets, well, he likes both of them, and it would be cool to get them both in one class, and Unholy Death Knights don't particularly count because the pets maybe not as in-depth, so yeah, I can't speak to the whole Death Knight area, but I think, yeah, if they were to emphasize the ideas of survivability and maybe give a little bit of melee utility to survival, I think it would be very cool. I'm not so cool with the idea of it being 100% melee, though. I think that just goes against being a hunter, and it would also lead to some sort of heavy homogenization, perhaps, with 1 or 2 other specs, in terms of the actual abilities your hunter can do. And there's not really a great amount of synergy that can go on between hunter and pet in melee range. So it would definitely be something that's very hard to do. I would like, yeah, I'd like it if survival maybe had 1 or 2 strong survival-based melee abilities. So, I don't know, something where you just club your opponent in the head with your axe and then jump away or something like that. That said, that would probably just lead to there being, again, too much CC in the game. But I'm not really too sure about the idea of just a pure melee hunter, though, yeah, survival should definitely have 1 or 2 more flavor sort of talents and abilities. Right now, survival is yet another just range spec. It doesn't actually feel like survival. Honestly, elemental would be a far better name for a survival hunter. I know they have traps, but that's essentially it. Well, you need more than just traps. But yeah, absolutely, I think survival is the one spec that if they did add a lot of differentiation to it, it would probably make hunters a lot better as a whole, because I think in terms of how you play them, marksmanship and beast mastery are pretty different, and then survival is just too similar to the 2 of them. Anyway, that is essentially it for today's show. Sorry I have to cut it short, but I am just too busy today to do a full sort of 15-minute job. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to check out my social media links and my Patreon page, you can down in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.